Well, good morning, America, in Central Time Zone. Uh, it is 2 degrees Fahrenheit, and that's not accounting for the wind chill. Well, that's not why I decided to do this live, because I don't want to upload a video and it bogs down my phone, takes half the day to upload, so I'll just do a live on StreamYard. Some people want to join me on the panel, talk about it. Hey, come on down. That's what I do this for. And as the title of this is, look it up, 2.4 million, 2,400,000 workers in the federal sector just hit the unemployment line in the past day or two. What's that got to do with you? I don't know. I don't know everybody's situation. Has it affected me directly yet? No. But do I just pretend it doesn't exist because I'm not being affected by it? No. I'm affected by it because my fellow man is affected by it. I'm not the type to sit at a table and try to have a lovely meal while my fellow man on each side of me is starving to death. Maybe you could enjoy a meal, and as lush as that table is, and let your fellow man starve to death and pretend they don't exist or they're not there. Oh, I got a guest. There we go. How you doing, Cher?
Yeah, I'm
Jesse,
not
I'm
so
glad
much
you just
fine.
came in when this started.
I'm not so much fine,
Have they run
son.
tests?
I'll tell you in the private, not here in the YT.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But this is very important. And
Okay.
there's two directions that I'm going to take this. The title of my stream here:
Mhm.
2.4 million federal workers just hit the unemployment line in the past couple of days,
Mhm.
or if not by the end of this weekend, that's it. And it put our
Okay.
unemployment rate at the Great Depression level, or Greator, because we hit 25% unemployment last week. So adding this
Yeah.
on, it's going to be worse than the Great Depression.
Yeah.
Now here's a lot of your typical asshole Americans' opinion when this happens. Somebody lose their job, you'd be like, well, go find a McDonald's. Kroger's hiring, or McDonald's is hiring, and they just left a job that probably paid them a very substantial wage, anywhere between 80 to 120,000 a year. And
Mhm.
now that they're going to have to bust themselves back down to a minimum wage job, which is poverty wages, you can't live on it. And
Mhm.
here's how the asshole attitude is, and Jesse knows this as well as I. Well, to the MAGA supporter that just lost their job and crying because this is not what I voted for. Sure it is. He done told you what he was going to do. You just didn't think that it was going to be you. Yeah, it was going to be you along with everybody else. I'm laughing and crying at the same time because I pity these people. And
Yeah.
my opinion. Do what?
Son, where are you heading now? I'm sorry to interrupt you.
I just told you the past couple of days I'm heading to Des Moines, Iowa. I deliver at 10 o'clock in the morning.
Okay. 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 Sorry.
Oh, that's all right. But these same people just cheered all those people getting deported to all these other countries that probably most likely worked in the fields in California and picked our fruits and vegetables, which is the breadbasket of the United States. They pick all the fruits and vegetables out in California all year round, and it gets shipped back east here. to where everybody gets to enjoy it at a low price. Because since they're an undocumented worker, they can pay them a few dollars a day to work their ass off. Because your typical American's not going to do that. Not even at minimum wage are they going to bust their butt in a field and sweat their tits off and picking fruits and vegetables. Well, since those MAGA supporters cheered those people, those Christians, getting sent back to all these other countries, which a lot of them got sent back to the country that was not of their origin, which is retarded. Well, I'm to the 2.4 million federal workers that lost their good paying job. The fields out in California await you. You can replace those illegals or undocumented workers to pick the fruits and vegetables out there for the same wage that they got paid because you're unemployed. You're not making any money anyway. And all of them just gave me the middle finger when I said that. Jesse knows exactly what I'm talking about. Yeah, but I'd tell them as they lost their job or they got laid off, be like, hey, move out to California. There's a lot of jobs in the fields out there. Because you got 2.4 million people that just left an administration job that really floods the market to get the same kind of job in the private sector. And most likely the private sector isn't hiring right now. Now, if I was had an office that I was running and needed administration staff, I would welcome them to apply and I would weed out my worst in my ranks, find the best that applied to me, get rid of the ones that weren't all that great, the bad ones that I have in my administrative staff, and replace them with the best that the federal unemployment workers could offer me. That's business 101. I wouldn't terminate anybody yet, but if they applied and I'm like, well, this person's got, all this experience behind him as a good worker, well, I'm going to replace him, get rid of some of my lackeys and replace them with him. And he's going to get a good wage, probably better than the lackeys I got rid of, but I'm going to make more money. Or my business is going to produce more.
Yes, and what's going on now in your country? Is there any, there's so many people losing now a job because of
Oh,
Trump?
yeah. Yeah. That's what I was telling everybody before the beginning of the year. When I not only that when I bought my truck, that things are going to be hard on me. Yes, I'm not going to be able to do things that I used to because of this, and I knew it. I saw it coming a mile away. I'm just glad I was able to, I could still maintain my business to where I don't have to leave what I do to go find a private sector job and have a boss that I had to kiss ass to. Screw that. I like being my own boss. But see, the prices of everything is going up. The cost of doing business is going up. The rates are remaining stagnant. And if I could, I would play the alarm that they would play before the purge started. For the next 24 hours, all crimes will be legal in this country. Murder, death, rape, whatever you want to call it. I can't remember what the speech was. For the next 24 hours, that's called it the purge. They even did a TV series of it. Not only they had the movie series, but they did a TV series because I auditioned for season 3, but that dropped during the lockdowns and they decided to cancel the show.
Oh, that means you will become an actor now, Sean.
Well, anybody can audition. I auditioned because what they were looking for is
Yeah.
what character I could provide, I could fill in for. And plus,
Mm-hmm.
Kirkman called me up and recommended I audition for them.
Uh, yeah,
Kirkman was
that's
the
nice, huh?
creator. Kirkman is the creator of Walking Dead because I
Mm-hmm.
auditioned for him, and he personally interviewed me because he was interested in getting to know who I was because of the part that I was auditioning for on his show.
Wow. You know what, Sean? It will be perfect if you will be the one who will play the role of the predator or the alien because you're so tall. You're around 6'5", but normally I think in the predator it used to be at least 6'7" or 6'8".
Yeah, but they keep doing those movies. They're all watered down now.
Yeah. And I think in the Predator they hire a Scottish actor. His height is I think around 6'9" or something, and then he went to US just to play the role of the Predator versus Alien. But the
well, the,
Alien I think he's from USA, the one who played for it.
maybe all those oil pipeline people lost their job because they were illegally wanting to run that pipe over reservational land and pollute their river. That wasn't a good idea, Jesse. That's what
Jesse,
the
come up in the
standing.
panel.
That's what Standing Rock was all about. We do not have legal standing on the reservation. Like Biden finally gave clemency to. He's a Native American, been in jail for 49 years. I had a brain fart, can't remember his name, but they finally released him on home arrest because two FBI agents got shot and killed. I don't know the whole story, and I don't have any of the evidence of exactly what happened. But our federal government, our United States Army, and our police have no authority on reservation territory. That's why when you go to a reservation, like I did, and I was parked at a casino, it was the Choctaw Reservation. I was parked at a casino where they allowed trucks to park. Some idiot backed into me and did over 10 grand worth of damage. Uh, Normal state police and county police didn't exist. They called what they call Iron Horse, which was reservational police, and they had the authority. But now they're having this lovely idea of start seizing some reservational land because a lot of them are rich in resources. No, that's not going to happen.
Sean, I will be muted for a while because I will buy some drinks, okay? And then after that, I will be unmute, okay? Hold on.
Uh huh. Well, I'd say we need to stop polluting. Period. But your rich corporate capitalist elite, they look at the pollution that some of their factories back in the day that did. They're like, I don't live there. If those people don't like it, make them move. Yeah, that's their attitude. But hey, let's run an oil pipeline that leaks through like where they live. That wouldn't fly, but 2 seconds they'd be like, no, you're not. Well, the other people that aren't rich, that are just like you, at, that are similarly situated just like you, don't want it either. I wouldn't want a pipeline running through my town where it leaks and pollutes the air and pollutes the rivers. And then you wake up one day, just like in, Flint, Michigan, where a lot of the kids have brain damage because of profits that the governor saw fit to switch the people's drinking water from the Flint River or to the Flint River, which is highly poisonous, from Lake Huron. You could probably do that back then, Tom, but you ain't gonna be able to do that anymore without rolling the dice. I wouldn't. That's why I stopped fishing years ago. Because you could fish, but you're gonna have to throw it back. Or do you want to run the risk of cooking and eating that fish and getting poisoned? And I know a lot of people who hunt and fish most likely voted for Mr. President Ass Gas that's screwing them along with everybody else right now. But they're crying because they didn't think it was going to happen to them. Like a lot of these young farmers in Missouri. You go on here on YouTube, there's plenty of videos. A young guy who's crying, I'm going to end up losing my farm. Yeah, you voted to slit your own throat. He said, I want my money from that contract. I can care less about anything else. That right there tells you about the cult of the self and the individual in this country. He only cares about himself and screw everybody else. And in the same breath, sit down and tell you how Christian they are. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Only in their fantasy, not mine. Yeah, the mining that took place over 100 years ago. And those places that, like in West Virginia, that they blew the tops of the mountains off instead of creating mines. They just move the dirt, get to the where the coal is, and just dig it up from there instead of mining it. They're blowing the tops of mountains off in southern West Virginia, and they caused an ecological disaster. And you know who had to clean that up? Nobody. See, they get the profit, but they don't have to pay the cost of the damage, the mess that they left behind. How you doing, Sammy? Glad to have you. I'm just glad I have the job that I have. I'm self-employed. I can go home if I want to, but I'm not because, hey, I go home, the wheels aren't turning, I'm not making money. And the way the prices of things are going up, and it's only going to get worse. Things like this start off unevenly. Yeah, sure, it may not be affecting you yet, but when it gets to you, you'll feel it just like everybody else. And that farmer, and a lot of the farmers that are losing their farms, hey, you got what you wanted. You got to feel good. You got to own the libs, whatever the hell that means. Your red team won, just like in the Super Bowl. But what did you get out of it? Nothing. Matter of fact, they're taken from you now. You got a red hat out of it that you had to pay for. But like a lot of other countries, they're being affected too, but not right away. It'll eventually get to them. But 2.4 million people hitting the unemployment line, they're going to start losing their houses by this summer. And I feel sorry for the ones that don't have family to turn to. They have nowhere to go, and they end up living in a tent city near the city. And this is everywhere. This is just not California or Oregon or Washington State anymore. No, no, no. That ended. It's all over the place. It's been that way for the past 5 years. How I know? There's a tent city that popped up around the TA there by downtown Nashville, Tennessee. They surrounded the truck stop. It's all
I'm
over the
back now,
place now.
Sean. I'm
Oh,
back
good.
now.
Thank you.
Yeah, I much better that you invited me here in your live stream because I really wanted to hear something what's going on in US because there's some live stream here in YT. I don't understand what they're talking about. It's all about repetition, about those about the tourists again. I
Yeah,
think it's better to get to know the economy, what's going on in US.
well, Sher, you'll know what I'm talking about. A lot of the people here, except for maybe Sammy, will not know what I'm talking about or see what I'm talking about because I saw it every time I come in for a landing there at Manila Airport, looking outside the airplane window. Yeah, you see a huge area as far as the eye can see of the squatters area right there by Manila. I see it every time. Well, you guys that maybe have seen it too, going to the Philippines. That's what's going to happen here, and it has already happened here. It just hadn't spread all over the country yet, like it has now, and it's going to get worse. You can pray to Jesus. Magical Jesus will get us out of it. Yeah, that's what they want you to do, to live in a fantasy land and think magical Jesus is going to come and save our ass. But I'm sorry to tell you, in reality, Magic Jesus isn't going to save our asses. And if we continue to allow this to happen, I'm just going to be curious how much is the majority of the American people going to take before they decide, people, we need to come together and have a revolution, the second revolution. And who's it going to be? One side's going to be the wealthy that have everything, which we're only talking about maybe 2,000 people out of 340 million. So who do you think is going to win that battle? Just like they're trying to stir up all the crap in South Africa. I was like, okay, there's 12.8 million white people. There's 45.2 million black people. Now, does the name Custer mean anything to you? I told those white people, you better circle the wagons or learn some sports real quick. I mean, you're talking all that shit and you're outnumbered like that?
You know what the problem here in the Philippines, Kuya Son? Those water that you're mentioning? China is trying to grab it. And as long it was named by South China Sea, they claimed it. And even Palawan, they trying to claim it. But, Philippines
Yeah.
and USA will never, ever agree on that because You, as we all know, long time ago, Philippines was bought by the Americans during the Spaniards' time.
Tom, it's like that, okay? Every trend, whether it be fashion, music, whatever, every trend and everything positive or negative starts in California and eventually makes its way east with everything. Yeah, it started on Skid Row. The hospitals dumping people that couldn't pay their medical bills and dumping these people on Skid Row. So you ended up with a bunch of homeless people that were sick because not all of them were hocked up on drugs. That's just a bullshit story that everybody tells everybody because, yeah, oh, they're all on drugs. No, they're not. A lot of them are not. They're just homeless and they don't have nothing. Sure, there and on that certain street in Philadelphia, you got all those people hocked up on methamphetamines and fentanyl. Yeah, but they're not showing you the extended part of it of all the homeless people that are not on drugs, that are living in a tent. They're not all hocked up on drugs, but they're gonna the media and everybody's gonna tell you, oh yeah, they all are. They're gonna make it sound like they all are. No, no, no. But it's no longer out west anymore. It's everywhere. Go to Nashville, Tennessee. I see it there all the time. What's funny is the ones that'll tell you about this are a lot of your celebrities that used to live in Hollywood and Beverly Hills and all that shit. They moved out of there years ago, 20 years ago. And I didn't know about this till recently.
Sammy,
They
Sammy is in the backstage. Sammy.
all right. A lot of your people that that are in music were out there, and they haven't lived out in Hollywood or Beverly Hills in years. They sold their house and moved to Nashville, like Meatloaf. I didn't know he lived in Nashville. I thought he lived in Texas or Hollywood or Beverly Hills. No, they all moved out of there
Hello,
long
Miss
ago,
Sexy. Hello, Miss Sexy Sammy. How are you?
and they
I'm
learned
good.
that what they moved away from, they're right back in it again. I'm sorry, Sammy. Go ahead.
All good, Kuya Sean. All good.
Anyway, what I'm saying here is, I don't claim to be the model Christian because I haven't been to a mass in over 15 years. I may have watched one on TV or on a video or something, but I don't claim to be the model Christian. But there's some things that I do hold to be true. I'm not going to let somebody starve to death. I'm not going to praise the pain of somebody else because another reason is I'm not into BDSM. I'm not going to have an orange hemorrhoid that became president turn me around and pull out his mushroom dick and say we're going in without KY. No, there are some
Hello,
people that are
Jesse.
into that sort of. There are some people that are into that sort of thing. Hey, more power to you, but not everybody's into it. And some people that are into that sort of thing, while that's going on, he's behind you slitting your throat, and you turn around and look at him and say, I love you. I'm like, no. Some people are into that. Hey, whatever floats your boat, it don't float mine. Well, I try to do it with a little bit of entertainment, and I add my flavor to it. But I'm like, are we going to have a try to
You
help
call
these
you
people?
call it a colorful description, Jesse?
Yeah, the way I stated things.
Yeah, it's
Jesse,
a
under,
random.
Jesse understands what I'm talking about, where you and Sheer probably don't.
We always talk. We always talk about like that. Maybe you think that I don't understand.
Well, he was serious. When he won, he was shocked. Did you see them when they first walked out on stage? They weren't smiling. They were just staring out at the crowd like they looked like a bunch of sad sacks. It's like, yeah, you won the election. Now it's like, oh, I won. Oh, now I got to get take it seriously because I'm in charge. He was
Mm-hmm.
lost. He didn't know what to do. But me, I feel sorry for the families that are heavily going to be affected by this. But this is just one tiny sliver of what has happened. But the 2.4 mil that just hit the unemployment line in the past couple of days, and by the today, today's Friday, right? Yeah, it's Friday. Yeah, today's the last day. The rest of them, they're packing up their shit and out of the office, and they're done. 2.4 million, and that's not including the people that are in the private sector that had just been laid off too. That they're not factored into this number, and if they are, you could probably double it. But to my fellow Americans in here, and I want my Filipino friends to hear this because it's very good knowledge for them. Because if it happens here in America, it can happen anywhere. And if I was a Filipino with
And
my
how about the
colleagues here,
devotion, Kuya Sean? Did you hear the news
I,
about devotion?
I'll get to that in a second. If I was a Filipino,
Okay.
I'd put my arm around the Americans and say, come in, the water is fine. You're now at our level. Because a lot of Americans look down at Filipinos. I didn't do that. I look at everybody as equal. I don't care who they are or how screwed up they are, what race, whatever. I look at everybody as an equal. But a lot of people do not. That's why a lot of the trolls did not see the Filipinos as an equal. They look down to them. They talk down to them. Am I right, Sheer? They talk down to you
Yes, I
It's
agree. I
because
because
of
agree on
their
that.
they
it's
think that
because of
they're
their
beneath you.
experience to other people. You know what is
Well,
happening.
it's because they're more financially off better than you, is why, one reason. But once that disappears and you find
But
them without clothes now,
maybe it's not good that they are begging, you know.
yeah, they're going to be in the same, here in America, they're going to be in the same soup lines here fairly soon because we're beyond the Great Depression level of unemployment thanks to what just happened this past week.
Yeah,
Just to,
maybe the cam girls are the one who was begging, you know. This is the reason why a lot of the foreigners, they general all the Filipinas, they mocking it and they bullying it, which is not nice, you know.
because now a lot of Americans are going to know what it's like to be like you guys, where the opportunities that we once had here in America are not there. And you got 2.4 million executive office workers that just hit the unemployment line. So that kind of waters down how many of them are going to get rehired somewhere else, if there's any jobs available, which I highly doubt. But like I said, if I owned an office and had a lot of workers underneath me, I'd have people apply, and if I see that their work history and their experience, and then look at my lackeys, I would dump my lackeys for the better worker and bring them up. It's business 101. They're not going to get paid the same as they did when they worked in the federal, but they'll accept a pay cut to get back and be employed again. They're just going to have to cut back a bit. And then if they prove positive and bring me more profits, I'll kick up their rates. But I agree. Yeah, at first that's going to be the first reaction. Everybody's going to be more cutthroat. Crime's going to go up. Yes. until we get some wise asses that think it's a good idea to hijack a truck like mine. That's why next time I'm home, I'm going to bring my 50 caliber Desert Eagle back with me on my truck. Because if I have to use a firearm, I don't. If I got to shoot somebody, I'm not going to shoot to maim. No, no, no. That 50 caliber is going to blow you in half. It's going to blow your body parts off. Because if you got to shoot somebody, you don't want them to survive. No, there's not a shortage of workers. There never has been. The shortage of workers, let's define that a little bit more, Gordon. I'll define that a lot better for you. They only say that because they know how everybody's going to define that. But the people that are corporate executives, when they say there's a shortage of workers, yeah, there's a shortage of workers that are willing to work for the pay that we're willing to give them. There's no shortage of workers. It's just the workers are not going to accept a job that you have to bust your ass and sweat your ass off and get paid $3 a day, like those undocumented workers out west that picked our fruits and vegetables. But no, I told people that as long ago. I'm like, you want to send all those people back to their country of origin? Yeah, because they're going to have to hire American workers. I'm like, okay, let's do the math here, Sparky. Those people that pick our fruits and vegetables that work their ass off, I saw them all the time. Every time I got a fruit and vegetable load out there to come back east, they work hard for so little, and they're humble people. You have to hire Americans to do that work. You're going to have to pay minimum wage or more. Even then, you may not get any. But do you think the farmer's going to swallow that cost? No. And when people start seeing $20, $30 for a sack of oranges or a sack of apples, or $50 for a bunch of grapes, they're going to want to know why. And I'm telling you why. Because you made them send those illegals or undocumented workers back that they gave slave wage labor to, that were picking our fruits and vegetables. That's why we paid a cheaper price for our fresh produce and, fruits and vegetables. That's why Robin Williams made the good joke. They said, unless you can come up with self-picking fruit, we'd like to hear your solution. There's no such thing as self-picking fruit. Steve, I don't get your point there. Yeah, it's okay to pay undocumented workers to keep our produce prices low. I used to work for the Kroger Company 17 years for the Kroger Company, and I worked in the produce department. And we had sales on heads of lettuce that were like 29 cents a head, 49 cents a head. But the price of head lettuce, or your regular iceberg head lettuce, never went over $1. It was 99 cents. It never went any higher than that. And it was like that for years. But is that what you want? You want to hire Americans at minimum wage and get rid of the undocumented? Okay, fine. Well, that 99-cent head lettuce just went to probably $9.99. Why should undocumented workers get paid less? Well, ask the farmers out there. They'll explain it to you. They're in business to make a profit. And if they got to pay the workers more, then they're not going to swallow that cost. It's going to get passed on to the consumer. Because if they can't maintain their profit margin and they're losing, they'll just go out of business and say, fuck it. Like I told everybody, especially truckers, that's a boat that I do not want to rock because I enjoy spending 99 cents for a head of iceberg lettuce or 4.99 a pound for grapes. Or whenever they're on sale, sometimes they were 99 cents a pound for fresh grapes. Yeah, I enjoyed that. But now you ain't gonna see those prices. But mind you, I have a master's degree in economics and business and a secondary of broadcasting. And I don't do this to be malicious or painful or to hurt anybody's feelings. You're going to get the facts from me. And you really don't need a master's degree to figure this out. It's business 101. But out there in California, a lot of people that complained about the undocumented or those Mexicans never hardly even probably even been out to California in their life. So what are they complaining about? I go out there all the time. I made a lot of friends out there. They remember me as I come out there to get another load or deliver a load there. They remember me well. You want to know how they remember me so well? Because during the pandemic, when people had to wear masks, I was the only in their language. I was the only gringo wearing a Mexican mask, and people looked at it like, "What the hell?" Yeah, I did it on purpose. Sometimes fate comes at you, and you look at it, and you read the message, and it say, "Do that." I was in a truck stop. I had to buy some masks. I had these paper ones on that I couldn't stand, and I wanted a fancy one like everybody else did. It's the only Mexican flag mask that I saw on the rack anywhere. And I looked at that and I'm like, I'm gonna have fun with this. And I can show people who I am. I bought it. I had many a Mexicans looking at me with their eyes real big. You're not Chicano. And I'd pull the mask down. I said, no, I'm not. And I put the mask back on. I had one ask me, why are you doing that? What inspired me to respond to that was the movie 42, the Jackie Robinson story. What Pee Wee Reese did in Cincinnati, his own hometown. Oh, even though he played for the Brooklyn Dodgers, that was still his hometown. Pee Wee Reese, before the game started, put his arm around Jackie Robinson, and it shocked the entire crowd. And he said to Jackie, he said, Jackie, I'd like to thank you. And he said, thank me for what? And he pointed with his glove. He goes, my family's up there in the stands because I can show them who I am. The umpire yelled at him, hey, Reese, are we going to get the game going? He took his arm off around Jackie and he said, and he laughed and he said, maybe tomorrow we can all wear 42 and they can't tell us apart. Well, in the MLB, they have Jackie Robinson Day and everybody wears 42. That inspired me to say, I'm wearing this Mexican mask. Not only I thought it looked cool, but I can show everybody who I am, that I'm not a racist fuck like a lot of other people. I've never had a Mexican rob me. I've never had a Mexican try to pick a fight with me. They have been nothing but lovely to me. For years, when I was a kid, our next door neighbor, Juanita, would treat us just like family. She was out there on her front porch with an old broomstick handle making manor tortillas. Oh my God. And I haven't had one in years. Those would knock your socks off. But I grew up in a very diverse neighborhood. But these people embarrass me. And I try to explain to my foreign friends, not everybody thinks the way or feels the way that these assholes do. And as my friends in California would say, your narasa is not my narasa, or my onda is not your onda. Because those people out there for years work their ass off for so little and be humble like that. And you go through some of those neighborhoods that are Latino neighborhood, and they're beautiful. 2 years in a row, I spent in Salina. 2 years in a row, by some miracle, I was out there for Cinco de Mayo, and they had a celebration. It was like a block party. People everywhere, food everywhere, and I think I was the only gringo there, but I was welcome. People talked to me. I tried to speak with them in a little bit of Spanish that I knew. They were impressed. But I believe what Bill Maher said about it. He goes, having these Mexicans here is not making us weaker; it's making us hotter. Yeah, go to California over there and look at the majority of the women you see there. Yeah, they're Spanish, but they're beautiful. They're just like a lot like Filipinas. You couldn't tell the difference, except they just don't have the Asian portion of being Filipina.
Sammy, you're so sexy. Woo!
That's why
Take a
Sammy,
look.
yeah, Sammy here, for instance, if she was here, could easily pass for being a Hispanic because she doesn't look like she has much of the Asian side.
Yeah, she's really beautiful.
And well, and a lot of Filipinos do. They either favor one side or the other. It's hard to find a Filipina that's a good mix of both Asian and Spanish. Like Blessed Life is one of those. She's a perfect mix between Asian and Spanish.
Here we go again.
What's
What about me,
she's a
son?
perfect example. You look
Yeah,
so
what
Here we
about
go
you, son?
again. Shush.
you favor the Spanish side, just like Rhea. I know you remember Rhea Shear. She
Yeah,
favored the
Rhea.
Spanish side. Yeah, she favored the Spanish side. Matter of fact, I talked to her about that.
How you can move on if you always thinking, always
Uh,
mentioning. That's a douche.
well,
I
pretty
miss you,
soon.
Sammy.
I mean, our poor is so bad. Our poor is a lot worse than you guys now. They'll be lucky to have rice to eat. I know some
Chavez.
people got to.
Jesse, yeah. I am Chavez. And my mom is Chong. Chong Miley.
Yes.
Sammy, you can't
You're half
see.
Chinese, right?
Yeah.
Her grandfather was Chinese, I believe, right? The one that you had to
Yeah.
go and take a trip to go see.
Yeah, you're right.
Sammy's got a cool middle name. When I heard it, I thought of Tommy Chung from Cheech and Chong. Hey man, we gotta smoke some weed.
Fucking hell.
Yeah, Tommy Chong. It was and Cheech Moranin. They were Cheech and Chong, and that's what they did. They smoked weed. They did a lot of movies together.
How is your sister now, Sammy?
She's pretty good. She go back like
Mm-hmm.
she's looks like nothing happened. After that she delivered the baby because it's almost five
Okay.
months now. So she
Uh,
go back
uh,
to her natural body now.
so how is
Chavez,
the
that's
baby now?
Spanish.
All good.
Yeah, Jesse Chavez there, or Chavez, that people pronounce it differently. Yeah, that you run into that name in out west all the time. That's a Spanish name, but Chong is Chinese,
Yeah.
and Sammy's real first name that sounds American, most likely of Scottish descent. because the famous Rob Roy is Scottish. But now when you say that at a bar, people think it's a drink.
Me, I'm just part Chinese also in my
Can I bite?
father.
Can I bite of your hot dog? Who's you're asking, Tom?
So Sammy's name is a mixture of three different cultures.
Hmm. And I'm proud. I'm proud. I'm not going to change my name if it's not for mom. To be honest, yeah, because my parents gave that name and I used it when I was studying, and then you know, but my mom decided to change it. So I try to maybe 1 year I try to used to it that name. So now I used to it.
I guarantee you, if you used your middle name a lot more often, everybody like, oh,
It's a
cool, because
line from
they'll think the same thing I
from
do.
movie. Oh,
They hear Chong and they're like, hey, you want to roll one?
what kind of bite is that, Tom? What kind of bite is that? Because me, I love to bite gently. Oh la la. Yeah.
Sammy,
Bite it. Bite it gently. Oh yeah. Come on, baby. Damn it.
oh my God, Sammy, we really miss you. And also Binko. Oh, by the way, Binko. At last, he has a girlfriend now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's why.
Good
Yeah,
for him. Good for him.
he's yeah, he's not so much active right now on YT, but sometimes he was live, and he said
Well,
that he really missed you also.
well, Sammy, he wouldn't be with her if you hadn't turned him down.
What? 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 What the fuck you're doing? What?
Yeah, I'm
What
joking with you. that
the fuck are
was
you
a good.
son?
That was a good one, though. I couldn't resist.
Hey, Kuya
Fucking
Sean.
hell. Sorry, but not sorry. It's not my it's not my type. Only one deck that I love, Kuya Sean. That's it.
I know.
Sorry, but not sorry. And I don't care what they were going to say. I don't care.
Oh, that reminds me of the song of George Thorogood and the Destroyers. Who do you love? Dun, 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 dun. Who do you love? That's a cool tune. George Thorogood and the Delaware Destroyers. My favorite song by him is "I Drink Alone," even though that's an irony for me because I don't drink at all. But it's a cool tune, though.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, with nobody else. But his number one, everybody would say, is "Bad to the Bone." That one,
Boogeyman
everybody knows.
High.
Bad to the bone. Da-da-da-da-da. Bad. But hearing all this crap, I try to avoid it but you're either subject or subjected to it, no matter how hard you try to get away from it. And it's like, okay, I've had enough, and I'm going to get voice what I got to say. And I'm not really necessarily giving opinion. I'm just giving a bit of facts. And like the Filipino would say, you reap what you sow. It's called karma. And believe me, karma's got some deep teeth. And when it bites down, oh yeah, you get lit up and you know about it. That's why I care about other people, even people I don't know. I don't wish anything bad on anybody. And sure, it's not going to affect me, but I don't want it to get to that point before I say something. But there are some
Oh,
people who get it.
Darren. Yeah, Darren cannot come up because there's an election.
Yeah, he's probably working the polls right now. He's dancing from one pole to the other. No, it's not that kind of pole. And I hope it works out the way that the majority of the people in Canada want it. Try to get the United States to join Canada so we can have universal health care so people can get taken care of. Hell, the Canadians are more Christian than we are because the Canadians, they care about one another. But here in America, we're so individualistic. How much money you got? Keep up with the Joneses. You got a boat? You got a camper? What's your house look like? What kind of clothes you wearing? The cult of the self and that shit's all gone now. It's really going out the window. And I've heard the MAGA supporters come back and tell me, yeah, they're doing it to cut the bullshit and going to make life better for me and my MAGA and everybody else. No, they're not. They're doing all this cutting and everything so they can get their $5 trillion tax cut. And that's no shocker because they already told you that's what they were going to do. And it's going to be a shock to you that it actually happens. And who's all part of that 5 trillion? You were never factored in and be a part of that. You were just the cheer squad to pay for the hat and all that other shit that you paid for. And actually, you thought that something was going to happen for you, but it's not because we're all going to suffer together. I got to make sure where the hell this place is. There, can you guys hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Yeah, it's right there. The building is right there. I just had to make sure I went to the right one. Okay, not there, but I'm going to make the right hand turn down there. Tension to Des Moines. Ugh. Excuse me. Well, I'm here, and hopefully I can get back into a door without damage and property, because it is tight in here. Yes, I did. This is how it was in the Cold War. Those people are scary and hate us, and we should know as little about them as we should know. And there's a lot of background noise. Those people are
Oh,
scary and
sorry.
hate us. Those people are scary and hate us. So we should know as little as possible of the system that they use to make sense of the world. Whatever logic you find in that, welcome to the United States for 60 years before the Cold War ended. You didn't know a thing about them, but we just believed what we were told to believe and accept without question about those Russians. They never invaded us, but we invaded them. Look it up. We sent 10,000 U.S. troops during their revolution, along with the Japanese and the British. And we got our asses kicked. And they said, fuck this, and they came back home. But we're not told about that. That can't be discussed. That was whitewashed from history and wasn't taught to us. So everybody goes along like nothing ever happened in the first place. But people get shocked when they find out the goddamn truth. And they wonder why, you know, they tend to be bitter towards the rest of the world. Yeah. Twice in their history, they were invaded by an outside source and came back and kicked their ass. Napoleon, Hitler, check. That's why history shows attacking Russia, not such a good idea. And yes, I've been to Russia and I've met a few comrades, which means friend. But a lot of people demonize it because it was widely used when you're with them. Don't realize that they're just like you or I, just the language is different. And now they changed the language in the media. They call them adversarial countries now. Like, no, they're not. Or there was the Russian aggression years ago. There's no such thing as Russian aggression. Anybody that's been aggressive, the United States. And everybody can look at it and say yes. How many countries did we invade since 2000 and got our asses kicked? But that part you won't be told. Yeah, we lost every one of those and got our asses kicked because we're no longer in those countries anymore. We sure as hell didn't win. And we sure as hell didn't bring democracy to their country, a democracy we don't even have. And I'll be right back because I got to turn the paperwork in. And hopefully, they issue me a door to get unloaded because I got $458 million of uncut, unprinted $100 bill denominational paper and rolls in the back of my truck. Anybody wanted to try to hijack that? Good luck. You're not going to move one of those because they weigh more than a car does. Each roll does. Jesus, is it's cold out there. parked in the perfect spot because when this blue Volvo in front of me pulls away, I back into his door. Yeah, I this is actually a high val load that I was never supposed to discuss, but I'm like, you really want to try to hijack me? I can leave the door open and let you have at it. Are you going to move one of these spools? Cher has a picture of it because I was on the phone when I sealed the trailer and had Cher take a screenshot when I held the camera up. Those spools are very heavy. You need a forklift to move them. Can you guys still hear me? Or did I lose signal?
I can hear you, Sean.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
And first of all, Sean, no one will rob you because first of all, why? Those spool is only a paper, and they need some print.
Yeah, I know,
They
but
need to print that.
you're not going to move one. And if you manage to roll one on the back of a pickup truck, oh my God, that would probably snap the axle because these rolls are very heavy. They weigh like 3,000 pounds or more. These are
Okay.
rolls of paper are very, very heavy.
Mm-hmm.
And you saw how big they are.
Yes, it is. But I don't show it to everyone. I just
Yeah, you
show
can
it
show it to them.
only to you. I show it, but I will forward that also to Sammy so she can see it, so she has an idea what we are talking about. Yeah, I don't delete it. It was still here in my phone. It's just like I'm deleting some videos here so that I have an extra memory for my latest video.
Anyway, there wasn't anybody doing a live stream, and I had to get that off
Hmm.
my chest when I was
Yeah.
talking to some colleagues. 2.4 million people are going to hit the unemployment line by the end of this day. I'm like, oh my God.
Yeah. Hmm. Yeah, son, I will be muted for a while. Okay, it's just like I wanted to,
And
I don't want you to distract your live stream.
yeah, but I take no pleasure in saying that 2.4 million people are going to hit the unemployment line. That's a lot of babies. That's a lot of children that are going to be negatively affected by this. Maybe not right away. They're going to probably happen to blow through their savings. They're probably going to have to I'd downsize right away. If my house isn't paid for and the house payments as high as they are, I'd be like, we're going to have to move into an apartment or somewhere cheap to weather this because they're just not going to be able to waltz in and get another job like they have somewhere else. It's not like that anymore. Years ago, back in the 90s, before this century started, that may have been true back then, but not now. But not only the pandemic was as bad as it was, there's opportunity in that. They knew, okay, we're going to have to shut things down, and I have this office that I'm spending maybe $3 or $4 a square foot for the office space to rent whatever this is in this building for my workers. Well, I'm going to have them work from home remotely through I like, hey, take your computer that you got in front of you home with you. That's how I would have done it, and work from home. And when you start work, get on your computer, punch in your information that you're at work, and I could see who's logged in, who's not. That was sort of a test run. They'd be like, well, good. We got them working remotely from home. It works out better for them. It works out better for me because I don't have any more expense because my expense just went out the window because I don't have to rent that office anymore. Yeah, that can measure in the thousands of dollars a month. I just made a good savings. So, me as the employer, my profits just went up. But does the employees' pay go up? No. Good news for the employer, but not for you. Because that's what they try to do. Their number one cost in running a business is your overhead. And if you can eliminate that overhead with technology and robots or whatever, you're going to do it. And that's what a lot of businesses have done. Let's put it this way: you cannot be humanistic. You got to be a bastard to be in charge of a place like that. You can't be a nice guy. You can't be nice to your employers or employees. Because that would be the Christian thing to do. That would be the humanistic thing to do. You have a harmonious workplace, take care of your workers, make sure they got everything that they need, they have no complaints, and they're healthy. Hey, you got a good outfit, but you're not going to profit as much. I mean, how much do you freaking need? Do you really want to be like Mr. Bezos or Mr. Elon Musk, and that's in charge of Elon Musk, that's in charge of douche or whatever that company's name is? I don't give a shit. He cares, but he just doesn't care about you and me. And when you heard our current fearless leader, Defier, said when he ever uses the word we, he doesn't mean you. Because when people hear we, that means, oh, that's all inclusive. That means everybody. But no, in reality, it doesn't. When he says we, he means we, the billionaire class, the three douchebags standing behind me who did not work a hard day, not even work hard for 5 minutes. No, all they do is they collect the surplus that all their employees make for them. That's why they're the richest in the world. They don't do any hard work. Yeah, Steve, that's true. I probably would have done the same thing too. I'd have come out, coughing and farting, take a leak, and then go in the kitchen and get me something to drink, something to eat, sit down at my computer, be wearing nothing but my boxer shorts and my t-shirt. I would probably wouldn't even comb my hair. Oh, we got that online meeting. I don't have to turn the camera on. Walk up to the damn thing in my boxer shorts and I don't realize the camera's on. Everybody has a fit, and I'm like, oh, I'm sorry, my nuts fell out of my boxers. I'm sorry, I didn't mean for you to see that. Ugh. And I just finished my cup of Joe. Now it's on the bottled water. Ugh. Well, that's a way to unlighten everybody. If you're in a conference call meeting type thing, business. What are you going to do, Sean? The meeting just ended. Oh, I might just keep working and open another window and have some internet porn going on and spank the donkey for a bit. You want to watch? I can't, Tom. I vaguely remember the origins of Facebook, but the platform that started it at all was AOL. I remember that dial-up internet. And the first, and I don't know what happened to it. It was MySpace. I didn't have, never have a MySpace. I heard about it, and that's when all the other clones came around. MySpace went in the toilet. Don't know what happened there.
I have a MySpace. What happened to MySpace? It turns out to be a music platform now.
Yeah, there. The first that competed with AOL was Yahoo Messenger, but that was taken over by a bunch of foreigners that were scamming people, and that killed Yahoo Messenger. Ah, crap. But me, it was getting to a point where I was enjoying reconnecting with old friends and sharing photos with family and old friends that I grew up with. But then, right before Trump said that he was going to run for president, it started to get ugly. And it got uglier and uglier. And I got banned from Facebook for defending gay people, in which the AI thought, because it focused on my word usage and not the grammar that was being used. The AI could not understand what my statement said. It just focused on the word and thought that that was hate speech or whatever. I'm like, no, I was defending gay people. All I said is if you're not in on what these fags are doing, why should it bother you? That's why, if a lot of guys come forward and say I'm gay, and I'm like, hey, great. I'm like George Carlin in that stance. I have no problem against you. I'm like, great,
Listen,
you're gay. More pussy for me is the way I see it.
Sean, excuse me, Sean. You mentioned fag. That's why they ban you. And for them, it's
Yeah,
sensitive,
yeah,
those words.
yeah. It focused on that word, but everybody knew I was defending gay people. I was just using their language against them so they can understand what I was talking about. And they fully did. And I ended up getting banned. And I'm like, you know what? That did me a favor. Fuck Facebook. And I haven't been back since. And you know what? I'm glad I haven't been back since. I use the messenger. That's it.
Yeah, a lot of people using Messenger.
But I'm not on Facebook. I will never go back to that platform again. You got people posting memes just because it's funny, even if it's true or not, or they don't fully understand what the hell's going on, and they think they do. And you got them same people that are all broke, bent out of shape, and they're getting all emotional. Were the same people that was telling the other people, "Fuck your feelings." That made a lot of sense. The big irony too. You got to laugh at the irony. All right, this guy's pulling out. I'm going to get my dough. I can hurry up and get this paper off because I got to pick up a load and head back to Davenport by the border of Illinois and Iowa. It's a short load. I told them, they know it's going to be late. Ugh. Oh. Ooh, you just barely was able to close your door. The yellow post wasn't in the way. But just to give you guys an idea, when I see panhandlers every day, They hang around by the highway, truck stops, whatever, except for the past few days because it's been so damn cold. But I see them out there, and I don't give money away. Sure, that's not the Christian thing to do, but I know probably most likely they're out there to support an alcohol or drug habit or just finding ways to get easy money where they don't have to work. That may be so. I don't know. But when I had a gentleman, this is an elderly black man in Alabama, I was entering the Iron Skillet at the Petro to get something to eat, to sit down for dinner. He goes, "Driver, can you buy me something to eat?" You know what I did? I looked right at the waitress and I told him to sit down and be comfortable. And I said, "Whatever he wants, put it on my bill." And he was legit. He was hungry. He wanted something to eat. I fed him, just like what Jesus would do. But I was not going to give money to where they could take that money and spend it anywhere, most likely on drugs, alcohol. I'm not going to support that. But if someone came to me and wanted something to eat, you damn Skippy, I'm going to buy him something to eat. Like, hey, why don't you just sit down and we can enjoy a conversation? I'll buy you something to eat. And he did. Like I said, I'm not the model Christian and I'm not bragging that I am. And I don't try to out Jesus people. But there's some things I hold to be true. I'm not going to let people starve to death around me because you never know. One day, may not be today, it may not be tomorrow. One day, that day may never come. But if it does, you're going to need help or you're going to be in need of something and you're going to want that to come back at you. And it may never come back at you. But that's not the point. The point is that, hey, you helped somebody that was starving that actually was in need. And you know what? It actually feels good to help somebody. It's almost like, wow, I actually accomplished something worthy in this life that means something, that touched somebody. Ugh. Oh, man. Yeah. There we go. Oh, by the way, when I went in and turned the paperwork, you were in a cage. And when I first thing I thought of was Hell in the Cell, the old WWE Hell in the Cell shit. And I yelled at the guy, "Hey, I'm ready for the Hell in the Cell." I thought it was funny. Uh, who am I fighting? Shit. You're gonna go against the Undertaker. But when I saw that, they had the machines going, printing the paper, and they were shooting around. It was like being at a newspaper press type thing, like where you would watch newspapers getting printed. All right, I gotta go back there and open my doors. I'll be right back. Keep them entertained, would you?
Oh, very nice. As you can see, Sean loves to help. He has a big heart, and some people don't like him. It's because he is very objective, and there are some people doesn't know how to handle those objectives or explanations. Okay, guys, I'm very sorry. I'm here right now outside.
Thank you, Cher. Ah, come on. Oh, it's getting warmer. 16 degrees now. It was 2. Oh, there we go. I'm in the dough, and that's it. Oh, now uh, it's a short run. Pays fairly well for a short run, but it's still not a whole lot. Where the hell did it go? I think that's it. No, no, that's not it. Ah, there it is. Pine Ridge Farms here in Des Moines. Hell, that was supposed to pick up yesterday, last night. This has got to be sausage because that's aren't the Armor Food Company is where it's delivering to. Ah, shit. Where'd it go? There it is. Ah, jeez. Yeah, I remember those old jokes, those old trucker jokes when the driver would walk into the bar restaurant and see the sign behind the bar. It said, cheese sandwiches, $5. Hand jobs, $10. And the bar lady would come walking up. He said, excuse me, miss, but are you the lady that give the hand jobs? She goes, yes, I am. He said, well, wash those hands and fix me a cheese sandwich. And get the directions to that place. I'm going to get a whopping $549. I'll be able to pick this
So,
load, but I won't be able to deliver it.
yeah. Sean, for how long you will be live? Is this a long run or something?
No.
Okay. Yeah, because later I need to go now because it's closing time here. So I might call you later, okay, after your live stream. But I'll
Uh,
just message you first, okay? And I
yeah.
wanted to step down now, Sean. And thank you for allowing me to come up in the panel.
Yeah, sure. Thanks for coming. I was just doing it to blow off
Okay.
some steam.
Okay. Thank you. Bye, Sammy. Bye, everyone.
Maury Street, 1800. I think what did it? Yeah, it's only 2 miles away. Yeah, that's why they gave it to me because I'm only like 2 miles away. I can pick this load and head on down the highway and park at the truck stop for a 10 hour and then deliver it tomorrow. Early morning tomorrow. When was it? Probably something tells me it was supposed to deliver probably this morning, but that ain't gonna happen. Do, 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 do. Yeah, it was supposed to deliver at 6:30 in the morning today. Didn't happen. Pity. So it's late all the way around. Pickup and delivery is late. And it's going to be worse because it's not going to get there till tomorrow morning. Tomorrow early morning. hmm Me picking this load, I just hope that they get me unloaded really quick and I can get out of here, go pick the next load, and drive for a couple hours. Yeah, hopefully I can at least make it to Cedar Rapids, but that's wishful thinking. I'm sitting here. Let's see here. Oh, Vinko joined us. Hi, Vinko.
Hello, hello.
You missed all the entertainment.
Oh well, I was sleeping. My goodness, I just woke up. Uh, it is so fucking cold here.
Oh yeah, it was 2 degrees. It's 16 now. It was 2 degrees when I started.
This morning it was -7 here.
Ooh.
My God. Yesterday -10.
Yeah, that's when you discover you got nose hairs. Because every time you take an inhale, your nose hairs freeze.
Yeah, my goodness, I was shaking like a leaf. Like a hula dancer.
Yeah, Shara just left. Because she wherever she's at, they're closing.
Okay. I turned on the aircon. My goodness, I need to warm up. Oh my God. Oh jeez.
But everybody's going to start really feeling the effects starting after today. You know, because not all of them hit the employment line right away when this started. But today was the last day. Some of the employers were going to keep them around, and they're all probably packing their shit out of the office and heading home. Because
What happened?
2.4 million federal workers lost their job.
Oh
They're
my
going to hit
God.
So that now will put us well over the Great Depression levels of unemployment in this country.
Wow. There you go, Big Trump. Yeah.
And the ones that are a lot of the ones that are being affected are the ones that voted for his nasty ass.
Now here everybody hates him in my country because he's dealing shit with Putin's. Yeah, he wants to start a war here again.
No, he's trying to end it. It's going to end up just like I was telling everybody when this all started. It's going to end up. They're going to bust up Ukraine like they did your country and Czechoslovakia.
Yeah. Oh my God.
I knew that was what the end result was going to be, because I remember what happened when you were a kid. You know, the Serbs. I don't know. I think was it the Serbs that started it?
Yeah.
Because they couldn't get along with the Czechs, and you
Yeah.
Croats hated everybody.
Yeah, we are like Germans. My goodness, Germans they're calling Krauts. We are Croats, so we are almost the same
But
name.
the reason why you hated everybody is because you were in between two fighting factions. Is what it was.
Yeah, my goodness, we didn't do anything to anyone. All of a sudden, boom, 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 boom. Oh, what the hell? We need to start hitting back.
You know, I admit I haven't really took the time to fully understand what that conflict was all about, but I know it wasn't good.
Yeah,
Because
Serbs wanted everything, but they didn't get it. So yeah.
well, I blame the Serbs out of default, and I admit that, because they're the ones that started World War One. And if the Serbs hadn't did what they did back in the early 20th century, then the 20th century would have looked a whole lot different.
Oh yeah, it will.
Those two world wars would have never happened.
But it is what it is. Oh crap! What
But
the hell
the,
is this one?
but the people in Versailles saw fit to blame Germany for the start of the First World War, and it's like, no, the Serbians did. You dumbass.
Uh, oh my god! Ugh. Come on, heat. Yeah, the other day I was in my other room and I turned the aircon. My goodness, it is so slow. I freeze my ass off. Oh my god.
Yeah, at that temperature that you're at, you really don't want to have exposed skin going out. It'll burn you.
Yeah. Yeah, now it is sunny outside, but yeah, it will be like for 20 minutes and then another cold. Yeah, there's no use of sun today.
Yeah, send Shira an instant message saying, "Hey, a few minutes after you left, I just jumped in."
Oh, where is Sammy?
Oh, she's gone. She dropped off.
Oh yeah, as soon as I get there, poof.
Yeah, she's probably
I don't.
she's probably sent me a bunch of messages cussing me out.
Oh yeah. But Cher was the one who sent me a link. Yeah. Oh my goodness, what happened to me yesterday? Oh God, two other people, for out of the blue, yeah, they like talk some shit and hate me and stuff, and I was like, okay, you can hate me as much as you like, I don't care, I didn't even know you.
Yeah, I'm probably gonna get cussed out after this live stream.
My God. Yeah.
I don't know where this is going. This next load's going to lead me to, but hopefully I get to go back up to Minnesota. Then I can get some more ribs again. They're in Albert Lee, like I did last week.
Oh my goodness! I was asleep, and all of a sudden, I got a message of my girlfriend. Like, oh, I came home from work. I will go to sleep now. When I wake up, I will call you. And I was like, okay, and I just continue sleeping. Oh my God! In 2 months, I'm off to England. Yeah. Plus, I wanted to get the hell out of here. Who knows? If I like there, maybe I will stay forever there.
Yeah, next time if I ever fortunate enough to go to England, I'll visit my friend Barry. Watch a whole lot of Monty Python's episodes because that's what I did every night when I was in the motel or whatever. I was watching Monty Python's. I was like, yeah.
Oh yeah, I'll watch it also.
Yeah,
Oh
that
my God!
or Red Dwarf. Red Dwarf is another funny show.
Oh yeah, I watched it. Yeah. I think I watch almost every single of English TV series. Oh my God, and movies. Oh
Uh-huh.
my goodness.
I gotta respond to Jesse's message. Jesse, Have you been Detroit? Been to Detroit? Have you been to Detroit in the past 10 years? That's what I got to ask you. You're going to make the Motor City great again? I'd like to see him try. That ain't going to happen.
I had a guy come up to me and say if I was for a hand job.
He's not. He's not going to be willing to do. Willing to do that. No, Trump is not going to be. Is not going to do it. Nor is he going to be willing to do it. To bring back Detroit to its greatness to what it used to be. What that would entail, bringing the auto industry back. That's not going to happen. The 40 people on that boards of directors of the three major auto industry are not going to bring those jobs back here because why? It's not profitable. It's not profitable for them to do that. And plus, moving your company somewhere is very expensive. And plus, those warehouses are all wore down, rusted out, and probably need to be demolished. The ones that haven't been demolished, they need to be demolished and rebuilt because they've been abandoned for the past 25, 30 years. Now, what I would do is screw the three major auto manufacturers. I'd run their asses out of Detroit, what's left of them, because the GM's home office is right there downtown, which is a major insult to the Detroit people. What I would do is create a worker co-op. I would get with some educated people, engineers, and say, I want you to design me in electric vehicles because that's the future. Give me some electric vehicles that we can mass produce. And the people that are left here can work here as a worker co-op. And nobody owns it. And everybody democratically votes. One person, one vote, decide on what, how they're going to manufacture all this, what they're going to make, and everybody vote on the design. But you engineers are going to come up with the design. Now, you may be the leaders of the group. You're going to be on the boards of directors, but you're not going to get paid, millions of dollars to do this. You're going to get paid a little bit more than they are, yes, but not a substantial amount. It's going to put everybody back to work in that area, and we'll finally have an automobile that's truly American made. And it won't be done for corporate profit because the employees will decide on what's done with that. It's not going to go to a tiny group of people to be billionaires and millionaires while you're going to struggle to send your kids to college or even put food on the table or have a place to eat.
Yeah,
That's the only way that they're going to be able to bring Detroit back to its greatness that it once was in the 70s. Because 1980 is when it started to go downhill because that's when the boards of directors decided to pack up and move. Where'd they go? To the countries that were most profitable for them. China, India, and Brazil. Parts of Canada and parts of Mexico. We can't bring the workers here, so we'll just go to where the workers are. And that's very expensive, yes. And you know who paid for that? You guessed it. You and I paid for them to move over to them countries. Because old Ronald Reagan, well, Nancy and I are looking for the other half of my head. Ronald Reagan gave them a tax break to move those jobs overseas, to slit our own throats. And they were still profitable. They were making record profits every year. They didn't have to move, but they did it anyway to get more profits because they got the profit without having to pay the cost. Because they don't have to pay the cost of the mess that they leave behind when they leave. And a good example of that is Detroit. That's what happens when the corporations get the profit and leave the cost to everybody else to pay. Not only that, Baltimore is another one. When the Bethlehem Steel Company pulled out of there, Camden, New Jersey is another one. That Camden, New Jersey is worse than Detroit. Yeah. You go back and watch those Trump talking about tariffs. He made everybody think that, yeah, we're going to stick it to the Chinese. You ain't sticking nothing to them. The Chinese are getting their money, dude. They're getting their money. The tariffs are going to be paid by the people who purchase their products. Like the best electric vehicle that was created by the BYD company. And a lot of people don't know what the hell is BYD. Yeah, they're better than the Tesla and a whole lot cheaper too. You go to Europe, you see BYD vehicles everywhere, but you won't see them here because nobody's going to be willing to pay 100% tariff on it. But Trump made it sound like, oh, we're sticking it to them. They're going to pay the tariff. No, you're not. No, you are. You and I are. If we're going to buy that BYD vehicle, we're going to give $30,000, which is the cost of one. The Chinese already got their money. The $30,000 for the car. Chinese already got their money. The tariff is paid because it's 100% tariff. So you got to pay another $30,000 to Uncle Sam for that car. You pay it, not the Chinese. That goes to that famous term that was shit out a couple years ago by the new generation. They got that term called "already got your money, dude." Just like when they put that transsexual person, I can't remember their name, they put them on the Bud Light cans, and people had a fit about it. And you had celebrities like Kid Rock from Detroit had cases of Bud Light and putting them up there and shooting them with his rifle. Well, the Budweiser company, which is Anheuser-Busch, didn't give a rat's ass. Why? Already got your money, dude. You paid to get those cases of beer, and you can do whatever you want with them. Stick them up your ass, whatever you want. We got our money. And that's a good term. That's end of story. You can't argue with that. Already got your money, dude. Like when I sell something like my truck, and I got my money, and he gave me the check, and it cleared the bank. I can care less what happens to that truck. I miss it, yes. I didn't want to sell it, but I had to. But if there was any complaints after that, I already got your money, dude. End of story. Coca-Cola. Well, I hate to break it to you, but those companies like Coca-Cola and Pepsi, they really don't really give a rat's ass of what goes on over here in the United States because we're not their profits. And let me get to that. Companies like Coca-Cola and Pepsi profit a whole hell of a lot more over in China. They're more worried about what's going on over in China to make sure that they got paved roads. They built up the infrastructure and they can distribute. Why? Because there's only 340 million people in the United States. Just the United States. I'm not including Canada and Mexico. Just here in the United States, there's 340 million people. We're 4% of the population of the planet. Now, over in China, what do they got? 1.3 billion. That's a big market. That is 4 to 5 times bigger than the United States. So we're the big difference between 340 million than 1.3 billion. That's a lot of bottles and cans of soda to sell for a profit. Because what did the Chinese do? 1948, they were one of the most backward, poorest countries in the world, and they got sick and tired of it. And they lived under an emperor. So they had their revolution with Mao leading it. Sure, a lot of people died. A lot of people die in revolutions, just like here in the United States when we had ours in 1776. But we demonize their revolution, but you can't demonize the American Revolution. We can't see it from the British standpoint of view because we're a bunch of treasonous bastards in reality. Because the direction they went and the system that they were going to use to make sense of the world. And not only that, they were our ally in World War II to help us fight the Japanese. But let's not talk about that. Very poor. And the emperor was in exile on Taiwan, which is part of China. And so from 1948 until now, they rose up to become a superpower, lifted, I don't know what the new number is now, but back in the 1990s. Now, mind you, 1948 to the 1990s, you're talking, what, 40 years? They had the biggest economic growth in human history. They lifted over 800 million, not 800 million out of extreme poverty. And look at them. They're going to end up surpassing us as an economic power within the next year or two. If our economic system don't collapse, which it's going to anyway, because it's useless. It's a dead economic system. It was born 17th century England, spread throughout the world, matured over time, and it's coming to a sad death. And it's time to be replaced by something better because we as a human race, we can always do better. That's true. And everybody says, I like these good old country boys that buy their pickup truck and they argue back and forth. I got a Ford and I got a Chevy and GM. It's like, idiot. Those are American names only, but those are foreign made vehicles. I said, you want American made? Go buy that Toyota because they manufacture them 30 miles north of my house in Troy, Ohio. There's that big warehouse that says Honda, and there's another big warehouse that says Toyota. Yeah, it's a Japanese company, but it's made by Americans and made in America. I said, so that Toyota Tacoma, you're buying American made. The irony of it. I said to a couple of them, go outside, open the driver door of your vehicle, and you'll see a sticker along the hinge of the door. Because all vehicles by law have to have that. You'll see a lot of numbers and jargon that won't make any sense to you. But you'll see where that vehicle was made because by law, it has to have that sticker and where it was made. And a lot of places you're going to see is Hyderabad, India, Sao Paulo, Brazil, or for the most part, you're gonna see Mexico, and that comes from multiple cities in Mexico. You'll never see a sticker say built in America, like Detroit or some other place in America. You will never see that because none of them were made here. Not anymore. Not since 1980. Yeah, those very same Mexicans they demonize. Send them back over the border. I want to spend $30 on that sack of oranges. I want the price of produce to skyrocket because that's what's going to happen. And I'm like, he said day one he was going to stop the inflation and lower the cost of living for everybody. He hasn't done shit. He ain't going to do it. He can't do it. And by now it's too late. He stirred up a hornet's nest and sent a lot of people back to the wrong freaking countries because I can't figure out. Oh, well, there's this one from. Ah, shit. We'll just send this group of Mexicans over to Ecuador or some shit like that. Look, fucking morons. And yes, there is a big difference. Yes, they all speak Spanish, but a different dialect. Oh boy. Come on, guys, hurry up and get me unloaded so I can get out of here. Come on over here. Always got to freaking do this. Da-da-da-da-da-da. There we are. Well, I'm past 2 hours, guys. And I'm glad that a bunch of you stayed here and got to hear me speak my piece and try to help people out and get them to understand something that's going on. And good luck to you. I hope for the best. And you guys have a wonderful day. What's coming up that isn't being talked about right now that I'm warning you about is my sister knows about this because she's in the medical field. She's a nurse at the hospital in Joliet, and she's friends of people in other parts of the hospitals because she used to work at them, or she had to get sent to another hospital because she specialized in something that they didn't. She has a lot of friends that work at the VA in Manteno, Illinois, that all of them were, all the medical staff was handed their walking papers at the VA. So when you hear him talk about, oh, I love the troops and I support the troops, my ass, you just sent those people their walking papers. And the veterans now have one hospital less to go to. And where are those patients that are there, that are veterans, where are they going to go? Are they just going to keep them there and nobody to take care of them? But we didn't think about that. You guys have a good day. I appreciate it. I'll talk to you later.